Too late. It's uploading. It's
What's
streaming
uploading?
the video.
Oh. What video?
Currently, it's this feed.
Are we live?
It should be live.
Oh, nice. Oh, there
Yep.
it is. Live
Yep.
now. Pull it up so you can see. Down. Ah, look at that. Hi, everyone. Live chat reboot. Got it. Okay.
Okay.
YouTube.
Yeah, we don't know how to fucking use YouTube. Here.
Thank you,
I
sir.
will invite my corp mates. Just for shits and giggles.
Your what?
My corp mates for the game.
What the heck is the game?
Watches this blings and blongs all over the stream. Getting dunked. Whatever. Hey,
Streaming mode is enabled. This is a hookah. It's completely illegal.
yes, it's nicotine.
Nicotine. No, why wouldn't you do it?
No what?
Not you, not you. I gotta find people I need. People. Here's some people.
Okay, now how in the fuck do you find what is socialism? Gotta love YouTube suggestions.
What is socialism? I just clicked on Charlie Powell because I have you saved. I'll just send you the link to your Facebook if you want. I'm assuming that's what you're looking for.
I was looking for the direct URL of the stream. Yeah.
Yes, the terrible Facebook. Dun dun dun.
Oogie. Hey, look.
Stuff.
Yeah, OBS takes almost all of my resources, so
Ah.
it's kind of sad. It shouldn't.
I just sent it to my wife. Here we go. Okay. We are live and local.
To mine as well.
Oh, I guess I can do that. Yeah, that's a good idea. You're smart. Yeah, stupid.
Isn't all of Facebook a news feed?
There's now another thing on mobile where, like, I don't know, you can look at it and it shows, like, only, like, Snapchat-esque, kind of, like your Snap story. It's your Facebook news feed. Yeah. It's only
Wait, so Facebook's trying to turn it into Snapchat where you send nudie pics to each other?
Isn't that what Facebook's for anyway?
I thought that was what Snapchat was for.
Well, that Messenger, I mean, you know, at least with Messenger you can save them.
Yeah, it's true, yeah. Right click, yeah. Well, you can save them on Snapchat too,
Yeah, but, you know, then they know that you saved them.
if you use the proper channels.
I have two phones. I just take a picture of it with my second phone, and then...
I have seen that, yeah.
I'm kidding. I don't... Nobody ever sends me nudes, so it's fine. It's fine.
Why not? You have a wife. Like, isn't that a perk of being in a marriage?
She does send me nudes sometimes.
There you go.
That's true.
But
Okay.
then Nick found a trick for connecting over USB to the phone, and very similar. So you just sent your public key over Netcat.
Right.
Nick found a trick that you can take a screen grab using the X buffer on the phone, since it's just running Linux. Pipe that over your USB port to a local system, such as either FFmpeg or just as a flat file.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, and it's not technically a screenshot because it's the X buffer.
Yeah.
That's dirty. So, if anybody Snapchats Nick, I highly recommend you don't.
Yeah. or at least you have to not mind them getting out.
Yeah. Ouch. So I saw the fireworks today. That was pretty sweet. That's true.
As we discovered, we have a unidirectional mic.
It's okay.
Hicksville's fireworks.
No Defiance.
It's only the third. Well, I guess technically right now it's the fourth, but
Yeah, they had them. They had them last night.
why the fuck would they have him yesterday?
I don't know. I'm not the firework guy.
It kind of defeats the purpose of July 4th fireworks.
Because, baby, you're a firework. Okay, obviously you don't listen to Katy Perry.
No, I don't.
And now we have heat.
This is why we need a third person for both production and video management, and for a hookah
Hookah
wench.
management. We're hiring hookah manager.
Yeah, hookah manager sounds better. I just call them hookah wenches.
Hookah wench. There, you could be like like you could do like the the ring girls, whatever at the fake UFC matches. You know, we need a hookah wench. You come wear a bikini and hold up a sign or something.
I don't really give a shit what they wear as long as they manage the
Fix the
heat.
hookah. That's terrible. Just wear whatever you want. Just fix the hookah, okay?
Like we said, then it'll be more PG friendly all around, because in the event that we get a male hookah wench, he's not walking around in a Speedo.
I'd do it. I don't think the internet would appreciate that, though.
Exactly.
I look like that guy off of Trailer Park Boys.
There's kind of three of them.
Randy.
Oh.
The one who never wears a shirt.
You know, they've been doing kind of sit-down interviews or impromptu little things, and one of the things was which Trailer Park Boy member is most like his character. And Randy is most like the character.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Mr. Leahy is actually like a Shakespearean type actor. So all of his drunk scenes are just him acting really, really well.
Or maybe he just was really drunk.
No, he was one of the few that actually didn't drink,
Oh, okay.
which was ironic.
That is ironic. The drunk isn't a drunk.
Yeah. Also, they said that they have to get their shooting done earlier in the day, because if it trails out for too long,
People get too drunk.
yeah, people tend to get distracted.
That's awesome. I just want one of those cats. My wife is Bubbles. She's a crazy cat lady. Sorry, dear. Throwing you under the bus.
Which is an actual disease.
Gaming is now a disease.
Hmm.
According to the gaming addiction, according to the World Health Organization, is now a disease.
Hmm.
Do you think I can get Social Security for that?
Wouldn't it be disability?
Whatever.
So how would that work exactly? Would you get instead of food stamps, would you get Steam stamps or Steam credits?
Yeah, instead of Suboxone, you get Steam credits. You can only have 10 a day. That's some good hookah.
I'm also gonna need to put on some more coals here in a minute.
No.
I know. Just get the stream up and working and fucking out of shisha already. Or out of heat.
I'll go put some coals on. I am closer.
Alright. I do have a mic assembly my way, yeah. Meanwhile, I check and see who's on here. Big T. No. Oh. PBT. I can't fucking read.
Putting it on 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5 out of 10 sounds like a good temperature. I don't like to max it out, so. Yeah. So, speaking about a gaming addiction,
Okay.
on mobile, I have a little space type game that I play called Hades Star.
Oh, that's a new one. We were playing the other one. What was it? Like Intergalactic something?
That one's just really good, but it's not very replayable.
Yeah. But it was really good, yeah.
Yeah.
Hades Star.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's see if it's on the iPhone too. Oh, look at that. Build a mighty space empire. Yes. Oh, it's up there.
Yeah,
My
it's up
bad. And you can kind of not see it.
Yeah, you can't fucking see it.
Alright, let's see. I'll have to make some videos of this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're going to install it. Oh, Face ID.
Fix ID. What?
Face ID.
Face. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, for authorization to install an app or whatever.
Yeah, I'm one of those weird people who got an iPhone.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the iPhone X, just saying. He doesn't, but I do.
I'm just comment of in a couple of years when your battery starts going bad and you need to replace the battery.
Who owns a phone for more than a year or two? Okay, well, you got me there.
Which, granted, it is cracked up, and doesn't really work too well, but it still technically works, and it plays games.
Yeah, I dropped mine, so.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, now all the new phones have glass backs. Which is good, because you get wireless charging. Yeah. And it's bad, because they break. And you can't really get, like, a screen protector for the back yet. And it was in a case when I broke it. Yeah, that's a bummer. But who really cares, because it's in a case all the time anyway. As long as the screen's okay.
So, if you need to swap out your SIM, can you easily do that?
Yeah. There's
And
a little thingy right there.
and your expandable storage?
I don't have expandable storage.
Why don't you have expandable storage?
Because it's a freaking iPhone. And in my defense, Samsung took that out of their phones too. They just got smart and put it back.
Yeah. I also have another nifty physical port on top that in the event I want to listen to, I don't know, music without having wireless Bluetooth batteries in my ears.
I can listen to music through mine.
You have a headphone port?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
It's in my bag. Lightning to
Okay, so if I get a wired headphone, we can plug it into yours right now and
If I go get the adapter out of my bag, yes. Why you gotta hate? See?
Hey, it's not my fault. Apple does stupid decisions sometimes.
There's
Yeah, see? That's a real port.
Yeah. This is the iPhone 6S.
Yeah.
Aha! And my pager. Yes. I'm such a loser, I have to carry 3 communication devices with me at all times. Have you heard of FirstNet?
No.
FirstNet's amazing.
How is that amazing, and what the fuck is it?
Okay, so FirstNet is a cell phone network built by AT&T, and it is available for all first responders, police, fire, EMS. So you get a phone, and some places like your department will pay for your phone. You have that option, but it's if you're gonna self-pay, it's $50 a month for unlimited everything.
Oh.
So you don't worry about it. But the cool thing is that no matter what, on the FirstNet network, which is AT&T, you have number 1 priority. So if there's like a natural disaster and everybody's trying to call somebody, I would be able to call somebody before anybody else. So I would always have priority, which is a good thing because especially now that we call hospitals. It's also super encrypted so that people can't pick it up and all that good stuff.
So, is it really?
I'm not sure. I haven't really read into their encryption, but it just says it's encrypted. It's probably not the greatest encryption. But hey, the military uses a 2-bit encryption on their radio equipment, and it's still unbreakable.
I think because people are bored and found better ways of exfilling data.
Well, the great thing about radios is there's not enough data to decrypt it in a reasonable amount of time.
True. Yeah, so the encryption that I'm thinking of is cellular or GSM and Edge. They support encryption between the phone and the radio tower.
Right.
However, you can, or more appropriately, the tower can disable it. And the bad thing is that you as an end user aren't notified.
So, that would be bad.
Yeah, so you don't know if your phone drops the encryption or not.
Well, I assume, and again, you know what they say about assumptions, but I assume that it's probably a little bit more robust than that because it's HIPAA. That's the kind of traffic you're putting over there. Because I can call the hospital from my phone or get online medical control and all that weird stuff going on. Yeah, but you never know. But even today, they say, I can't get on the radio in the ambulance because it's open and say patient information, but I can do it on the cell phone. So, who knows? Maybe they will decide that they don't want to encrypt anything.
Yeah.
Bastards.
The worst case, even, is in the event that you have a rogue access point somewhere that disables your decryption, but still forwards the packet on, your communication's still going to work, and again, you're not notified that your phone's not encrypted anymore.
Yeah,
So,
that'd be bad. I saw that on Mr. Robot once.
Yeah.
They did it in the FBI office on Mr. Robot. It was beautiful. It's beautiful. I imagine that it's probably not that hard to hack the FBI.
No. But if you want to play with cell phone attacks, there's a fun little device called HackRF. That it is a software-defined radio that can operate within the cellular bands.
I've heard of that, yeah. Yeah, that's a fun little toy.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the HackRF can do that. Because I know it can do 2 and 3 gig. Yeah, I think there's a module for Wi-Fi.
I think so. Good times. Good times. So yeah, that's FirstNet. And it's just now rolling out. Right now, it's kind of like piggybacking off of AT&T networks, and you're just getting priority. But pretty soon, they're going to have their own network as well in some areas. So then you'll have towers that are just FirstNet. I don't think they're going to put it everywhere because it wouldn't make sense to like why would you do that to a tower in Hicksville? You're going to have like 5 people on.
Right.
And I mean, that doesn't make sense. It makes more sense just to give them priority. But my company, Sabre, is actually building some of the equipment for the FirstNet. So it's kind of how I learned about it. And now they're just starting to roll that out. I think they started in March. Started rolling it out officially. It's kind of neat.
So do you get a referral bonus if you recommend other first responders to get it?
I don't think so.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, that's
a
sad.
bummer. Enter my referral code now.
Right.
This is one of those videos.
Well, I could do that with Ting.
Ting. What is Ting?
Ting is another phone provider. It's a provider that's not actually a provider. Because they don't own any cell towers.
Oh, okay.
In fact, they're not even out of the U.S. They're out of Canada. But they operate. Yeah, but they operate in the U.S. But it's a prepaid. Nope, nobody else on. It's a prepaid cell plan that you pay for what you use.
Oh. Okay.
So if you don't use a phone at all and it sits in a shelf, you pay, I think, $7 for it. $6, something like that. And it's pretty good. But it just got me thinking because they have referral codes.
Here you go. We'll plug in his referral code so you can get some Ting.
Yeah. Maybe
Probably
maybe
not
if I
gonna
get
do that.
yeah, if I get bored on the post production, maybe.
Yeah. There is this neat app that I found. It's called Long Game.
Long game.
It's all about saving money. It's a really weird program. But basically, if you like to gamble,
Yeah, I don't.
but if you like slot games and things like that, it's free, 100% free. You put money into a savings account. So you open up a Long Game savings account.
Like with actual real money?
Yes. And you get interest just like any other savings account, but there's an added bonus that they put in. You get coins. So for every dollar you deposit, you get coins, and then as your balance grows, you earn more coins per week on top of whatever you put in. Are you following me so far?
Sure.
Okay, so then you play games where you gamble those coins.
Okay.
And so like they have like a slot machine, they've got
So yeah, it sounds like
so yeah, they got like a scratching tickets, slot machine, you can play scratch offs, Price is Right spin wheel thing, you can play with your friends. But anyway, so you can do this. It's called Long Game. It's really neat because it helps you save money. So you get goals when you reach the goals, you get more coins and you can play more games.
What type of an awesome marketing team do they have to convince somebody that by gambling you're saving money?
Because you're not actually spending money.
But you just said that you deposit you cash, they give you tokens, and you gamble the tokens.
Yes, but you're depositing your cash into a savings account that you own.
Yeah, sure, you can call it whatever the fuck you want, but...
But it's your money in your savings account, and they don't charge you any fees. There's 0 fees.
So if you lose all of your tokens or cash or whatever...
You lose all your coins.
Yeah.
You still have all that money in your account.
So what do the tokens do?
It's just a reward for putting money in the account.
So what happens if you gamble and you win the jackpot or whatever?
You can win up to $1 million. They put that in your account. I won like a whole whopping 50 cents once.
Worth of tokens?
No. $1 million.
Yeah, there's some catch that they haven't told you yet. That's just kind of weird. And
what do you think the catch is? There's no catch.
There's got to be a catch.
There's always a catch. That's what he says. I know. That's what I said, and I'm trying to find the catch, and I've not found a catch. I've been using it for a while now. They've never charged me a fee for taking money in, putting money out. Nothing. And you just go in there and you get coins, and as you earn, because like there's goals in it. and you make your goals, and once you earn the achievement, then it gives you more coins per week. So like, and then if you take money back out, you lose it. So you might have been making 140 coins a week, but let's say you go buy a motorcycle, and then I lose all those coins per week. So now I'm only making 40 now. So that's kind of a bummer, and I cried a little. But yeah, you can. There's a few games in there where you can actually play for real money, but it's kind of neat. Plus, you get interest on top of being able to win real money, and the interest rate isn't too bad for a savings account. So, but it is a savings account, so you can't. There is restrictions because it's a savings account. Like you can't withdraw money every week, and you can't. You know how that goes.
Well, you can do that savings account.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to call it a savings account because of the Patriot Act.
What?
Yeah, you can only make so many withdrawals per week or per month, and otherwise this can't be an interest-bearing savings account. It has to be called something else, and yeah.
Well, that's bogus.
Yeah. Yeah, good time. I don't know why they decided that had to be that way, but yeah, if you have a savings account, and because what I used to do, like with my credit cards and stuff, is I would take that money, because I'm really bad with money sometimes, take that money out of my checking account, put it in my savings account, and then just pull it from my savings account, so that money's already gone and I can't accidentally spend it. Unfortunately, I started doing that, and then they shut off my savings account and just moved everything in my checking account. It says, yeah, you can't do that because you're using your savings account as a checking account.
But you're not, because it's not a checking account. You don't have checks for it.
Right.
That's kind of the big difference.
I don't have a debit card.
Yeah. Do you have checks associated to the account? If you don't, it's not a checking account.
But according to the U.S. government, if you take too many withdrawals from it, because of the way it's reported or whatever, it's no longer a savings account.
You see, that type of thing is a CD.
Mm-hmm.
Like a 6-month CD or 12-month CD or whatever you have.
Right.
That's
different. But CD you can't withdraw at all, or you get penalized.
Right. You lose the whatever. You lose something.
Yeah. I don't know. It's silly.
Well, are you going to get the coals or am I?
Oh, I better go get those, huh?
Yeah. Tongs right there. And I have the fancy new tongs that I stole from Dawn.
Bring out your bed. Save. Impressive.
About to say it has 3 legs on it. If 2 are on a table, one's not.
My bad. So that's long game. It's kind of fun. And, yeah, that's about really all I got on my cellular device. We could talk about safety apps all day long. But unfortunately, I don't think that you're that interested in safety apps.
No, I've never really been one for safety, per se.
Why not? So for those of you who don't know me, I'm a safety manager. Yeah, that's what I do. I work in a factory, and I tell people not to do bad things. That's my job. I think safety and IT go hand in hand. I think it should go hand in hand. I think that somewhere along the way, we grew so big so fast that we forgot about safety in IT.
Your company or IT?
In general.
Oh.
So now we have like this whole big cybersecurity
Well,
that kind of blew up in the last 5 years.
kind of, but it's been a building problem for the past 70, 80 years. Because people, when they build something, when they engineer something, they don't, they have a mindset of how it's going to be used, and they don't think about how it's not going to be used. Because you have to build something with the expectation of operational parameters.
Right.
And being able to foresee what's not inside of your operational parameters is extremely difficult, because you literally don't know what that is. You don't know what you don't know.
Kind of like that one guy who keeps using your Core Plus differently and breaking it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a good example, yeah. Anytime a user uses an application in a way that the developers never thought about. It's it's just something that happens, but that's something that, as you go along with a project, you have to take into account.
Right.
But then the problem is that now that everything is globally connected, your user base is
much larger.
Yeah.
And much more diverse.
Yeah.
And unique.
Yeah. So instead of just being 10 people in your company, it's actually a web-connected application connected to the public internet that 7 billion people can access. Well,
and it only takes one that doesn't like you.
Or just one person who's curious about it. It's like, hey, this is an app here. Hey, it accepts input. It's asking for a number. What happens if I give it a letter?
Yeah.
Because the application says, please enter a number between 1 and 10, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to enter spaghetti.
I'm going to enter a meme.
Yeah, that's another great example. I'm going to put binary data into this input field because it's a post, and posts support that.
Let's see what happens.
Yep. Then if you get really mean, you upload a very large binary, at as large as you can fit, and see what happens. Because again, if the application's only allocating...
Does anybody know how large the file for the flying spaghetti monster would be?
Well, what file? The image?
Yeah.
The image you can make pretty small.
No, we can convert that to binary. And we make it large and in charge. And we just send flying spaghetti monsters and crash servers.
Or you can upload cat memes.
Cat memes? Yes.
Yes.
This DDoS attack brought to you by Pandacat.
Yep.
Meow.
Yeah, anytime there's an upload vulnerability that allows unauthenticated users to upload files,
Bad things happen.
yeah, you end up with strange shit on your server. Namely, cat memes.
Cat.
That wasn't me.
Who was it? Oh my. Cat memes. The other thing I've noticed now is autocorrect. Or autofill. Like, it's kind of a old thing. Like, we all know what autofill is, but you're starting to see now that banks, institutions like that, are not allowing the password field to be autofilled. My bank still does.
Well, there's a you mean autocomplete?
Autocomplete, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's not supposed to be autocomplete in the first place, because it's a password. That's a, I guess, security problem.
But there's so many that are. I mean...
Yeah. But then Chrome, and I think Firefox even, it goes above and beyond, and it tries to be convenient to you.
It does it anyway.
And it builds a profile for you, yeah. So even if the site tells it not to, it's still very well made.
Nice.
And like those yellow fields on a web browser, on Chrome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because that's pulled from your profile that it thinks that you want to type in.
Well, I guess that makes sense.
Well, yeah, sure, unless you have multiple profiles. Because you use multiple Gmail accounts.
Who would do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yay, Gmail. You know, I got Gmail when it was still invite only. Yeah. Matt Hoffman invited me to Gmail. True story.
Don't you feel special?
Yeah, that was way back in the day. I was in 6th grade.
At that stage, was it even Gmail or was it Google email?
No, it was Gmail back
okay.
then. Yeah, I think it's always been Gmail.
Okay. But it was Gmail beta.
Yes.
That was a long.
But it was so sweet because you got 2 gigabytes of storage.
Yeah.
You were like, wow, 2 gigs, and it keeps growing. Yeah, and then there's like a bunch of apps before Google Drive came out, before cloud-based anything came out. There were some apps that you could use to tweak it, and you could actually use your Google email account as an online drive. And that was before Dropbox.
Do you want to know a shocking surprise?
What's that?
Email, and specifically the IMAP protocol,
is pretty much just
is literally that.
It's cloud. Yeah.
No, I meant it's a file repository.
Right. Yeah.
One email message is one file that can technically compose multiple files inside of it, but
and that's how that little hack worked.
Yeah, because one email can contain. It doesn't have to be text. It can be a binary or a zip or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know how many gigs I have now, but
I think they kind of stopped counting.
Yeah, they're just like whatever.
Yeah, storage for them is cheap, so.
Yeah, I have unlimited storage for the rest of my life because I bought a Pixel once. Worst phone ever made. Don't ever buy the original Pixel. I've heard good things about the Pixel 2.
That's sad.
It was, yeah. I think they rushed it.
But
now the Pixel 2 is supposed to be a lot better. And now that they've acquired HTC, maybe the Pixel 3 will be even cooler. But I haven't seen anything for it yet, so I haven't really looked.
If it doesn't have a user serviceable battery, I'm not getting it.
You can get an LG.
That has a replaceable battery?
Yeah.
Great.
Actually, it's actually really cool. The LG phone, and I want to say it's the G5 or the G6. I can't freaking remember. But everything pops out the bottom. It's very modular. So you can put in an extra battery. It pops out the bottom. You can do like a special camera you can put on there. So there's 2 companies that are doing that, and that's Motorola with the Moto whatever thingamabobber.
Well, there's a few companies that have been trying it, and Google's actually one of them too.
I haven't seen anything from Google for that, but yeah.
There's a reason for that.
But with the Motorola, I know that like you can get a speaker, like a Bluetooth speaker. You can put that on the back of it. You can get a nice camera put on the back of it. Same thing with the LG. So LG I think LG was first to kind of come up with that, and that's what they have. So you can and that whole bottom will pop out.
They might have been first to production, but they weren't first.
Fine, God.
Yeah, that idea has been around for a while.
Yeah, but
Google, their platform, they are using a spline chassis that supports different modules all the way along it. So the phone is completely modular.
Oh, like you could change out everything.
Yeah.
Like the processor.
Yeah. And so the processor takes let's say a 2 height slot on the bigger side.
Oh, the Lego phone.
Yeah.
Yes, I heard about that. Yeah. I didn't know it was Google's, baby.
I believe it was Google, yeah. But they had problems with the structural integrity because there was nothing to it.
Yeah.
And with keeping the cards fitted.
Because they have to be easily removed, but yet be able to.
And if you drop it, you don't want your cards to go flying everywhere.
Right.
Yeah. Which is what happened. Probably why it's not in production.
Where's the damn Google glasses? Did they abandon that officially now? See, that makes me so sad because I really want some Google glasses.
It was an interesting idea, but could have been done a little better.
How so?
I don't know, but when you look at something, you're focusing on it in the distance, but then to see whatever data, you have to then focus really close.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So I don't think that helped much. Unfortunately, I don't know of a way to get around that.
Yeah, you'd have to be able to like read the. You'd have to be able to like somehow be able to read your eyes and figure out where's his focus level at, and yeah, I don't see that being a possibility.
Other than have an implant in the base of your brain
Yes.
that you can plug in a direct input for a video feed.
Don't think the world is ready for that yet. That would be sweet, though.
They're already doing it for blind people. Although it's not here, it's somewhere else, but same idea.
And deaf people. Well, they've been doing it for deaf people for a long time.
Yeah.
Just to get around the cochlea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good times. Good times.
So you had the idea to debate something.
Oh, man, I don't know what to debate. You tell me. What are we debating?
Okay. Well, do you... I'll use the topic that I brought up earlier. Do you think that people legitimately believe of flat Earth?
Oh, flat Earth? Yes. Oh, yes. I don't personally know any... Well, you know what? That's not true. I actually do know one guy who appears to be a flat earther on Facebook.
Really?
Yes, so he shared some of the things. He also believes in chemtrails and that vaccines cause autism. So, man, it's just really hard for me not to dismiss those characters outright. But I've actually looked into the flat earth theory, okay, and besides the obvious plot holes that it has, because it has a few of them, for example, like, how is it possible that... Never mind. I'm sure that you can imagine what they are. There actually is, if you read it and you really kind of think about it, there is some, like, oh, okay, aha moments where you're like, okay, now I kind of see how people could believe this. I think a vast majority of it is just people being a troll. I mean, I just can't fathom anyone actually believing that NASA and every government that has participated in the space program or has their own space program has somehow covered up. First of all, I don't understand why we would cover it up in the first place. What would be the point of covering it up? What do we gain? Right? Because the reason we cover things up, like let's take the moon landing, for example. We would cover up the moon landing and say we actually did it, but it was fake. I'm not saying it was. I'm just saying that this is the theory. Why would we do that? Because we wanted to beat Russia. Okay, so in theory, I can understand that because there's a motive there, but it doesn't make sense to spend resources, money, and time to just trick people for the hell of it.
Yeah, so your counter argument is that there's literally just no reason.
Yeah, there's no reason to say the Earth is round if it's flat.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And God, honestly, I don't understand why we're even having this debate in 2018. But you know that it's the same thing with the chemtrails.
Well, the reason is Zionism. Yeah.
Okay, help me out. I don't know what that means. Does it have anything to do with the Matrix?
No. No, it was a fanatical religious movement in like 1904, where this, well, certifiably crazy guy came up with the idea that the Earth was flat. It's a disc, and he convinced his followers to believe it.
Okay.
Due to some, I don't know, it fit into his dogma somehow.
Did all the followers die?
Probably.
From cyanide
Probably,
poisoning?
yeah. It's one of those. So that's where they're pulling the information from.
So basically, they just somebody found this old information from whatever time that was, and was like, oh, look, this guy's smart. He says the Earth is flat. He must be right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
No.
I mean, yeah. It just, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Because when we look at the moon, and we can obviously tell that the moon is round. And there's two reasons that we can tell the moon is round. One, because we look at it in the sky and it appears to be round. Okay?
You can claim that it's an optical illusion.
Sure. But then how does the solar eclipse work?
It doesn't. It's fake.
Oh. Really?
See, the moon is just a projection, so they can change the shape of the projection whatever they want.
Okay, but the moon passes in front of the Earth and the sun and it causes that shadow.
Yeah, they're all just lights. And
Really?
it's like a filter or a piece of plastic or something, yeah.
A piece of plastic
Yeah.
in space?
Yeah. Well, no, it's not in space, because space doesn't exist.
Oh.
See, in the flat Earth theory, space isn't real.
Oh, okay.
When
Space
you
is not real.
Yeah, when you look at space and see the stars, you're actually looking at the glass dome
Huh.
above us.
So there's a glass
Yeah,
dome.
yeah.
Okay. What about the guy who jumped out of an airplane in orbit?
Did you personally see it with your own eyes?
Somebody did. Somebody filmed it.
Wait, it's faked.
So everything is fake.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I guess that makes
So
sense.
that's the argument that's the only argument that I've ever seen is, oh, well, that proof is fake.
Right.
Yeah, that video is faked.
Fake news.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sure. All right. So anyway, the moon, okay, what about tides?
Wind.
Wind.
Wind pushes the water.
Wind cannot make a tide. That makes no sense.
No, it doesn't, but...
Because you have tides when it's not windy.
Yeah. But also the idea that if we're on a ball, water lays flat.
Yes.
So water's not going to conform to a curve.
Okay. So you're telling me that the Earth is flat because the water doesn't curve.
Yeah.
Okay, but gravity...
Gravity's fake too.
Well, actually, technically, in kind of a way, the concept of gravity could be fake because we could call it centrifugal force. Because what does the Earth do?
Well, gravity pulls us in, centrifugal force would pull us out.
No. Think about it like this, okay? The Earth spins on its axis, right? And if I have a bucket of water and I spin it around, and none of the water comes out. Why? Because the centrifugal force is going to be higher than that of the gravity. Right? So wouldn't that be kind of like a similar concept there?
They achieve a similar result physically,
Right.
but inverse.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the centrifugal force overcomes the gravity.
Yeah.
But yeah, but yeah, there's just like, I mean, how can you say that gravity's fake? What holds us on the planet?
Buoyancy.
Buoyancy.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Me neither, but somebody does.
Okay.
Because we are heavier than air, so we sink.
Okay, I guess I kind of get where they're going with that. But if you take a vacuum, okay, if this is the way it works, and this is, but if you take a vacuum, and this has been done, scientifically done, you can make a vacuum, and you drop a bowling ball and a feather at the exact same rate, they'll hit the ground at the exact same time.
Yeah.
So that theory has kind of been a little shot. Let's see, what else is there?
Another one is if they believe that satellites are real.
Satellites, yeah. That's
Which,
a fun one.
of course, they wouldn't because they're in space and space doesn't exist, so satellites can't exist.
Mm-hmm.
But theoretically, if there's a polar satellite, like, there are, how does that physically work? If the North Pole is at the center of the disk and the South Pole is actually the south outer ring,
Okay.
because that's how it would be construed on the disk. Then the satellite that goes between the North Pole, South Pole, back to the North Pole.
So there's no space.
Yeah.
And so the satellites just kind of hang out on the poles.
I guess. Or something.
What about when you're flying in a plane
Mm-hmm.
and the horizon is curved? When you're at about 20-some thousand feet, the horizon gets curved. It starts to curve. What about that?
Optical illusion.
Caused by what?
Your eyes.
My eyes.
Because your eyes are curved. Yeah.
Because my eyes are
Yes,
curved?
yes.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Again, these are all things that I've seen in videos.
But that wouldn't make any sense because if my eyes are curved, which causes that optical illusion, then any time that I look at the horizon, it would be curved. Not just when I'm 20,000 feet in the air. Which is not true because you can go out on the ocean and you can look out and it's flat. Which is one of the things that they use to prove the theory. But that proves that, I don't know. That's just weird.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Have you seen the ship argument?
No, but I have seen the one where we're on a turtle's back.
Well, that is from a storybook.
Yes.
Which is a good book, by the way. And
Yeah.
a good movie. Which is also ironic that, yeah. Discworld, yeah, that's what it's called.
Discworld.
Who's the author?
I have no idea.
Me neither.
Probably some crazy flat earther.
Yeah. But no, the argument of ships on a horizon is that a ship passing over the horizon never disappears. If you have a strong enough telescope, you can see a ship from any distance.
No.
That's the argument. Is that if you have high enough optical telescopic view or telescopic zoom.
So. That's just crazy.
And this was demonstrated by a guy with a optical or digital zoom camera. And he zoomed into a ship on the horizon. He could see it. And he zoomed out, and the ship disappeared. And they zoomed back in. And the ship reappeared.
Really?
Mind you, obviously, when you zoom out, the pixel resolution is too small to display a tiny ship 3 miles away. But that's besides the point.
So the theory is that if I have binoculars on, as long as I just get more and more powerful binoculars, I'll be able to see.
As far as you want, because it's flat.
Okay, so why is it that I can't see from one side of the Earth to the other?
There's some argument term that they have for that too. It's the heat refraction from the ground makes mirages, so you can't see past a certain distance.
But if I'm up in the air on a plane, there's no heat mirage from the damn ground. I should be able to see from one side of the Earth to the other. Technically. That makes no sense.
If it's flat, yeah.
Yeah. Because all the mountains surround it, right? That's what keeps the water in?
Antarctica surrounds it, yeah.
Oh, okay. Antarctica surrounds it.
Yeah, Antarctica is actually an ice wall that we are not allowed to explore because then we discover that it's an ice wall. And we'd be able to go beyond the bounds of Earth.
You can go to Antarctica, guys.
No, you can't.
Please.
No, you can't. According to them.
Go. Go to Antarctica.
Because you have to get permits to go to Antarctica.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do, actually.
You have to have a permit to go to a freaking iceberg.
Yeah. Well, to Antarctica because it's a protected nature reserve.
Oh.
So you just have to get authorization to say that you're not going to fuck shit up.
Okay.
Yeah. What?
So go get your permit and go to Antarctica and...
Yeah. And by the way, there are plenty of private expeditions to Antarctica who have done this exact process and have walked across Antarctica.
And proven.
Yeah.
But it was fake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. Because again, a flat Earth guy never did that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Wow.
So the flimsiness of the arguments and the reoccurrence to always go back to, well, it's just faked, just leads me to believe that no actual human being believes this shit. They're just
Right.
trolls. They're just trolling.
Right. Yeah. But people do believe it. I firmly believe that.
I don't believe that. I can't
People believe that vaccines cause autism.
That I also can't believe that either.
People believe that planes flying in the air are leaving chemtrails that control the weather. I was literally, I posted on this because somebody posted it and I said, haha, you're so funny. Let me get my tinfoil hat out. And I was murdered in this post for saying that because I thought he was joking and he was being serious. He really believes that the government uses chemtrails from planes to control the weather.
Yeah. I have heard that as well, and I can't believe that either.
And I'm trying to explain to him, if the government was going to do that, California would not be burning right now, right? Like, you control the forest fires. And their response is, well, they got to let it happen sometime so that nobody gets suspicious.
Of course, yeah.
Yes, and I'm a sheep and I'm not awoken or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Which actually, and that's a very interesting thing that people do. It's actually very manipulative. Because by calling you a sheep or trying to...
Sheeple, yeah.
Yeah, a sheeple or whatever it might be. They're trying to say that they're trying to get you to... They're appealing to you. Appealing to your ego. Because
That's a horrible appeal attempt.
It's a fallacy. It's appeal to ego. And what it is they're basically saying that I've achieved a better status than you. I'm awoken, or I'm not a sheep. So, yeah, it's phallic, but, you know. And then, of course, everybody loves ad hominem. That's everybody's favorite fallacy. I don't agree with you, so I'm just going to call you a racist. We see that one a lot these days.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, I married a Mexican, but I'm a racist. You know, because I don't believe in illegal immigration. Yeah, I just and I'm not trying to hurt anybody or you know, start any problems with anyone, but I feel like the world has a lot of problems and the United States has put their nose in trying to solve the world's problems, and we've just made more problems, and we just need to stop.
Well, have we put our nose in to try to fix problems?
Have you seen the Middle East?
Was that an attempt to fix somebody else's problem?
Korea? Vietnam?
Okay, well,
Kosovo?
Korea and Vietnam, I can see. Kosovo would have been to fuck with Russia.
Well, that's what it was all about. Afghanistan.
Well, yeah.
Pre-2001, Afghanistan.
But you see, my thought on our foreign policy, for the most part, is that we tend not to go to places to try to fix things. We go because we have an agenda.
Oh, yeah. We'll always have an agenda.
Yeah.
And the agenda is to bring democracy, or spread democracy, or stabilize a region, or whatever it might be. Syria, there's some egregious stuff going on in Syria. People are dying and whatever, and you know, all these, you got refugees leaving, they're going to Europe, and the cultures are clashing, which is causing a lot of hate towards Muslims. But I think, and that's the problem that I have, is I can't say I don't want a bunch of non-vetted Muslim immigrants in our country, because there are some very extreme Muslims, and some of them are, and there's a lot of them, you know, they get what we call radicalized, and it happens a lot, and it happens to United States citizens. There's United States citizens that have been radicalized.
Well, as we've seen with flat Earth theories, there are a lot of radical Christians too.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not saying that well, look at, what's that kid's name, Dylan Roof? Yeah, you know, he went and tried to start a race war, so he went into a church and killed a bunch of black people. You know, radicalized. And then, of course, your mass shooters, right? I can't remember the statistic off the top of my head, but the FBI statistic is over 90%. Over 90% of mass shootings in the United States are done by white males.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Okay? Now, I can say that, and I'm not a racist. Okay, but my point is that if I say that over 90% of African Americans that are murdered are murdered by other African Americans, now I'm a racist. Even though it's data and it's statistical, I try to take emotion out of it and look at the logical conclusions, and it doesn't necessarily make you a racist. That's our problem. That's the root cause, and that's what I'm all about. I love root causes. So how do we fix the problem? And that's not easy, but yeah, I think overall, with immigration and everything else, so I have that belief. I don't know where I was going with this now. I forgot. But I have that belief, and so when you're arguing with somebody or you're trying to talk to somebody, the ad hominem fallacy always comes into it. There's a couple other ones, but you have to call people out on that. You have to be able to say, listen, like, take the gun people, right? Now, I'm pro Second Amendment. I'm not going to argue, but I really, really hate that the greatest argument for the Second Amendment right now is, well, if you take my guns, the government's going to come and kill us all or take control, right? Have you heard that one?
Of course, yeah.
That's a fallacy. That is a slippery slope.
It is a slippery slope. Unfortunately, in that case, it's also historically documented.
True.
So, which comes into play of the term slippery slope.
Yeah.
Because in a way it is true, but it's a regression.
But there's so much more evidence, and there's so many more things that we could use to have that conversation than just saying, oh, you're trying to take my guns, you're stupid, and, it's like I see a meme. There was a meme one time, and it was all about how everybody thinks that Trump's crazy and an illegal president and all that stuff, but yet they want to take away our guns.
He's an illegal president?
Yeah, or whatever it is. He should be impeached, or just all the crap that goes on about that guy, and then just saying, like, but you want to take our guns. You're telling us that the police are out of control, but you want to take our guns, which is our only way to defend ourselves against tyranny. But the bottom line is the Second Amendment is very, very clear. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
It just gets into nitpicky details of what constitutes arms.
Yeah. And to me, in 1776, okay, what did the federal government have?
Same ammunition as the population.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at. Like, I don't think there should be any regulation at all. The problem is, as with anything else, is there's a couple jerks that ruin it for everybody else. And unfortunately, you've got school shootings and all these things going on. So we have to have common sense rules and background. And I'm not against doing a background check. It takes 10 minutes at the store to do a background check. Okay? And the problem that I have is they're not sufficient.
Well, yeah.
They're not being reported properly. The gentleman who shot up the church was an ex-Navy or something like that, Air Force maybe.
Okay.
I can't remember.
So he would have passed the checks anyways, most likely.
Well, the problem is that he was convicted of domestic violence and was dishonorably discharged from the military. The military never reported his conviction. Okay, because military court and civilian court are different.
Right. So because since he was dishonorably discharged, that null and voided any previous military convictions.
No. If you're dishonorably discharged from the military, you are not allowed to own a gun.
Oh. Okay.
So, but it was never reported. And his domestic violence, if you were convicted of domestic violence,
right,
you are not allowed to own a gun.
That's not a bad one.
Right. And that's what I mean. That's common sense. If you're convicted of drugs, you should not be allowed to own a gun, in my opinion.
So,
felony drugs. I'm not talking about weed. Nobody gives a shit about weed. For
well,
God's
no,
sakes, legalize that shit already.
Well, yes.
Anyway.
But right now, it's illegal at the federal level. So if you have a joint on you and you get busted, that's a felony at the federal level?
No. They've decriminalized it.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what year they did it.
It's only like a quantity.
You have to get busted with a crap ton of pot to get felony.
Okay.
They decriminalize the crap out of it. In Ohio, you can have quite a bit on you, and it's like a traffic ticket. They just need to legalize it because there's no evidence that it causes any harm to an adult, a responsible adult using it responsibly. And
There's actually more evidence that it's beneficial if you use it properly.
I don't know about that. You know, I take
Okay,
those
so
with a grain of salt.
Even if you
But-
look at it from a psychosomatic standpoint of mood stabilizing and sleep assistance, so if you have trouble sleeping,
Right.
or if you have trouble with an eating disorder, it's pretty clear that it helps with those. So if nothing else, it helps you in your state of mind for many people.
Right. Yeah, and I know that, you know, it's been proven to really increase give a lot of help to cancer patients because it gives them an appetite, it helps with the vomiting and everything.
If nothing else, yeah.
Gotta answer the snap from my wife.
Is it a needy pick?
No,
No.
she wants to go home soon.
No. You say Snapchat, it's the only thing I think of Snapchat for.
So, yeah, I just, you know, I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying that I think that we need to do more testing. And I'm excited to see that the FDA has just the very first cannabis-derived drug has just been approved by the FDA.
Oh, what's that?
I can't remember
Oh.
what it's called, but it's been approved. So there was another one that was also approved, but it wasn't necessarily THC based. It came from something else. The cannabis plant helped make it.
CBD?
But no,
Oh.
this is a pill, and it mimics THC, but it's not THC. So this is the first one that actually uses the plant to produce
Oh, okay.
a pharmaceutical. There's a lot of conspiracy theory surrounding it, thinking, you know, and I think that they're on to something with the whole big pharma thing. You know, why doesn't, you know, a pharmacy want you to have pot? Well, because it's literally called weed because it's a weed.
Yeah.
Anybody can grow it.
In that stage, it's less of a conspiracy theory in my book,
Mm-hmm.
and more of if Big Pharma is a business, and if you look at what the goals of a business are, it's to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Just point blank.
Right.
If you can't make money, you can't succeed as a business. So, yeah, that's just kind of common sense that if there's something that they can't make money off of, they probably aren't going to be motivated to help. And unfortunately, the problem comes into play that it's not just their opinion, is that now their opinions are affecting policy change.
Right,
via
because
lobbying.
Yeah, well, lobbying, and then also, who is on the FDA? Who's the head of the FDA? He's an old pharmaceutical guy, and that happens a lot. Like, these guys are moving from pharmaceuticals to government positions, and you know they got to have good old boys, right? I mean, and what, you know, that to me is an issue. That's a conflict of interest,
Yeah.
and it should be dealt with.
Yeah. And in our realm, we saw that recently with Pai. Ajit Pai.
What is that?
He's
I like
a bit of a douchebag, and I can say that because he was a lawyer. So, and he was a lawyer at Verizon, and now he's head of the FCC.
Oh, yeah.
Him.
Yeah, yeah, it's things like that.
Like, why isn't a Verizon telecom lawyer now in charge of telecom regulation?
Yeah, and how much did Verizon pay him to be there? And is he still on Verizon's payroll? Well, I mean,
Officially?
yeah. But, you know, I mean, it is what it is. It's a broken system. I think that a lot of people, because it's not, you're right, it's the FCC, it's the FDA, it's the USDA. I think it's just like a lot of people, like, there were people from Monsanto on the USDA. I mean, and so we always talk about draining the swamp, or, you know, that was a big thing that Trump talked about. Yeah. And then there was also a lot of talk about doing away with other things. Hasn't really happened yet. Hopefully it does someday. Really, I'm just hoping he stops this tariff war going on. I'm sure he's got something in mind, because Every time I've doubted him, he's pulled through for me. But we'll see. Yeah, I'm just hoping. I work in the steel industry, okay? Like, I'm like, what are you doing, dude? This is scary.
Yeah.
But we have to figure out how we're gonna fix our system. And I think that we just need to get rid of bipartisanship altogether. Democrats and Republicans are both just cancer. And I'm a Republican. And I'll never vote Democrat again because of the lies that I believed in with Obama. But, you know, that's one thing I like about Trump. He might be a douchebag. He might say stupid shit. But he's delivered on the things that he ran on.
Somewhat.
I think that he's done a pretty damn good job. We got our tax cuts. He tried to do Obamacare. Hopefully we'll be able to get into that after
as you
elections.
mentioned, he didn't drain the swamp any.
Yeah, swamp still needs drained. We're still waiting on that one.
In fact, arguably went the opposite way.
I'm not sure about that. And I'm not, I mean...
Well, just from the FCC perspective.
Right.
Putting him in charge really did not help that cause.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how that happens if he puts that person in charge.
He does.
Or because I know, like, he appointed the CIA, Markle or whatever. And
the president can appoint chief staff positions.
Okay. Well, I know he appointed the CIA, but Congress has to confirm it.
They approve it, but more so, they have the ability to deny it.
Gotcha. Okay.
But if they don't get majority,
he's like, this is the person I want.
And if Congress has a majority against it, they can complain. But
yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's exactly, you know, he's hasn't really drained the swamp at all. I wouldn't say he's contributed to it. I would say he's just kept up with the same old thing. That would be. I mean, not that he hasn't. He has contributed to it, but every president has, and I don't understand. And then again, at the same token, don't you want somebody who's worked in the telecom industry, playing devil's advocate a little bit here?
No.
In the FCC,
not in the slightest.
Who do you need? Who do you want in that position? Like, what kind of a candidate would you want to put in that position?
Well, anybody who's on board with the e05, Electronic Frontier Foundation. Frontier Foundation. Thank you.
What is e05?
They advocate for privacy rights, individual rights, software rights.
So is this like that crap going on in Britain?
No.
Is that like the exact opposite?
Probably.
Okay. I don't know much about it. All I know is I keep seeing stuff on websites about it, and it scares me.
Yeah. No, the e05, they, whenever there's, like net neutrality, when that was dropped, the e05 was trying to fight it. And whenever there's for example, a copyright lawsuit against an obviously open platform, the e05 will help with legal costs and legal defense.
So they're kind of like protecting you from Big Brother.
Yeah.
On the internet in that sense.
So if you're looking at a regulatory body like the FCC, anybody who has history of trying to protect individual rights over corporate rights would be preferred. But instead, they're going with corporate rights take priority above individual rights.
Which is bad.
Yeah, it's bad. But that's how it is, and that's how it's been for quite some time. Yep. It should have some e05 stickers around here somewhere, too.
Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to start moving these positions into elected positions.
Potentially.
You want to be the head of the CIA? Put it on a ballot. This is 2018.
Mm-hmm.
You can have you can make a ballot and have it voted on tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You could do it online.
Yeah.
I mean, there's ways to verify identities, and I mean, obviously it's, something that have to be done very carefully, but it could be done.
Mm-hmm.
And
well,
in 1776 we're set up as a republic for one reason and one reason only.
Yeah.
Because it would take too long
Yeah.
to bring every little issue to the people. But we're starting to get into a new age where you could bring a lot of this stuff to the people and get rid of these representatives completely.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're all terrible.
Yeah.
For example, I'm sorry.
Let's switch.
The Affordable Health Care Act, okay?
Kind of a shit show.
It is.
Yeah.
I think it had good intentions, and I think when Obama started it, he ran on that. I voted for him because of that. I know, please don't hurt me, any of my friends.
I voted for him twice too, so...
Yeah, and what happened?
And I'm not, well, I guess technically I am a Democrat now because I had to for Bernie, but whatever. Yeah. That didn't work.
Bernie. That poor guy.
Yeah.
It would have been really hard for me not to vote for Bernie Sanders. And I really feel like the reason that we have Trump is because of what Deborah Schultz and Clinton did to Bernie Sanders. And I mean... I don't think people seem to get that because Bernie went up on that stage probably because he didn't want to die, and it's a joke. The Clintons talk about conspiracy theorists; they kill everybody. Yeah,
Yes,
whatever.
Well,
They're dirty, shady people, but I don't think they're. Maybe they are. Who knows? I don't know. But
I wouldn't put it past them.
yeah, Bernie Sanders, instead of doing what I think would have been the better thing, and not accepting it and saying that this was wrong, and his supporters just seemed to go away.
Well,
He went up there and said, "I support Hillary Clinton now," and he lost the game, I guess.
yeah, and your point is, what choice did we have when he lost the primary and lost it to her? He literally didn't have a choice because he ran as the Democratic ticket,
Right.
and so that was his only choice. And all of the followers, well, we're not going to fucking support Clinton, so
Most of them just didn't vote.
I voted.
I know you did.
I didn't vote for Republican, though, nor Democrat.
Yeah, and that a lot of people just didn't vote at all.
Yeah.
They just said, "Well, I can't vote for my guy, so I don't care." Bernie Sanders is a crazy old coot, but I think that we have a good Congress. If we have a good Congress and good even balance in there, I think that he could probably gotten a lot done. I definitely support free universal health care. I support free college. And the reason that those two, health care, especially after post-Affordable Care Act, is a joke.
Yeah.
Okay? I was sick, and I had to go to the ER, and I'm an EMT, so I know a little bit about medical supplies and how much they cost. I was charged $700 for a bag of IV fluid, a $20 bag of IV fluid. Okay? Just, and that's what they're doing all the time. And all of this stuff, it's out of control. And somebody really does need to figure out what's going on.
See, so that's the beauty of capitalism, is that if you have a captive market, you can charge as much as the market will allow. And in this case, since we literally do not have a choice in healthcare, they can literally charge any exorbitant rate that they want, and you don't have a choice because you're lying in a hospital bed and you don't have a say.
Yeah.
So that's where the universal healthcare idea would come into play, is that if you take capitalism out of the picture for that one industry, not for all of them, but for some basic humanitarian needs,
Socialize them.
like healthcare,
Right.
and if you can manage to do it correctly, which is also another problem, is that if you have corporate lobbyists trying to get their fingers in the mix, they're going to fuck shit up anyways.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing about the Affordable Care Act, and I have to go soon, unfortunately, but the thing that drives me nuts is go look at every 10 years, Forbes releases a list of the top 500 companies. Okay, that's what when you ever hear like I'm a Fortune 500 company, that comes from Forbes. If you go look at that list in the last 10 years, health insurance companies are now dominating the top of that list.
Yeah.
Okay, so it went from being oil companies and car manufacturing companies to health insurance companies. You cannot tell me that if you're a health insurance company and you're making so much money that you're richer than some countries, you have more money than some countries, that I need to pay $500 a month for health insurance for me and my wife.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And the fun is that if you don't pay the $500 a month, then you get taxed. You get penalized.
Yeah, which that was the first thing that Donald Trump did. Was Congress wouldn't cooperate with him, so he couldn't get rid of it. So he just told the IRS, yeah, we're not going after anybody who doesn't. But it doesn't fix the problem, because then you end up in the hospital and you got a $14,000 bill for a simple procedure that should realistically probably cost $2,000 or $3,000. You know, my friend, he's an older gentleman, and he told me that in 1970 or 1980 or whatever, 1980, somewhere around there, he had a child, and that cost him no health insurance. Cost him $200 to have that child. And then 10 years later, he had another child, and it was $2,000. And so in 10 years, the cost blew up. And you can check out, like, the reason for some of this is because the hospital is gouging the insurance companies, and then the insurance companies work with the hospital to get a deal, and so they're actually paying what the price should be.
Well, it's still inflated.
Yeah. But I know on our side as EMS, we struggle because a lot of our runs, and I'm not trying to say this is bad or talk down about anybody, but a lot of our runs are Medicare and Medicaid, and they don't pay very well because the system's falling apart. They give us $80 a run.
So
Okay.
how much is an ambulance run in general?
We are cheap in Hicksville. We're cheap. We're one of the lowest in the nation. $500 for a basic run, $750 for ALS.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
Right.
Like, you have, how many people are in an ambulance staffed? 3 or 4?
3. Usually 2 EMTs and a driver.
Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, you have that. You have the operation, the maintenance cost of the vehicle.
Yep. And there's a kicker that a lot of people don't realize about EMS. We are not allowed, we are banned by the government. We are not allowed to charge you for what we do. We are only allowed to give you one single charge. So if you come in and I put a bandage on you and take you to the hospital, I have to charge you $500. If you come into the ambulance and it's an ALS and I give you an IV and I do a bunch of other stuff, and maybe I put $1,000 worth of drugs in your bloodstream, I can only charge you $750. I can't charge you per diem for what we do. And that kind of sucks, because people who maybe, and it happens all the time, especially with the elderly population, they just need a ride to the hospital.
Right.
Honestly. You know, I can't breathe. I'm having difficulty breathing. We'll give them some oxygen, take them down to the doctor, maybe give them breathing treatment, whatever it might be. But usually they're okay. They just need a ride to the hospital because they can't drive. Or, you know, and it happens. And that's frustrating, because now we don't have a choice. We have to charge them exuberant amounts of money for a simple ride, which is $500 to see us, and then $30 a loaded mile. Yeah, but it is what it is. I mean, that's life, I guess.
Well, at least life in this country.
Yeah. I don't know. I just know it's too expensive to get sick, so
Yeah.
stay healthy, friends.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're at an hour and 20 anyway, so that's a good time to wrap up.
Yeah.
So,
It's been fun.
guys.
3 o'clock in the morning having YouTube fun.
Well, the fun thing with YouTube is that most, obviously, since nobody's fucking watching right now anyways, well, 2 people. Well, one of them's you.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah. With that said, good night, everyone.